Clubs in the English Football League (EFL) could be facing a fight for survival as tightened coronavirus restrictions ended any hope of getting paying supporters through turnstiles in the near future. The new measures announced yesterday by UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson put paid to the test events that have seen limited numbers of fans return to stadiums in recent weeks and given hope to lower league clubs that their main income stream was returning. Now, it may be as long as 6 months before supporters can attend matches. Johnson addressed the nation yesterday to warn of the dangers of the virus spreading exponentially after a sustained rise in cases in England over the last few weeks. The country is now in something of a halfway house between the full lockdown of the spring and the relatively relaxed regulations of the late summer. Pubs and restaurants are still open, but will be subject to a 10 p.m. curfew, while mixing between households has been effectively ended except for under certain circumstances. While there is no serious talk of halting play again in the Championship, League One and League Two, clubs at those levels have been dealt a serious setback as hopes of welcoming fans back were effectively halted until at least Christmas. Rochdale, based on the outskirts of Manchester, are one such club. Last season, they managed to sell a youth player, Luke Matheson, to Wolves for a reported £1 million, which has insulated them a little against the worst of the COVID-19 financial scares so far. However, they do not need to look far to see the potential problems facing them. Barry, their near neighbours and greatest rivals, went bust pre-COVID and were expelled from the Football League, while Macclesfield Town, also near Manchester, were wound up at the High Court last week after 146 years. It was going to be a severe impact under the regulations that had been set out anyway, said David Bottomley, CEO of Rochdale. Under the regulations that we had been working towards for the last 8 weeks, which have already cost us money to implement, we were looking at a loss of income from hospitality and reduced crowds of around £2 million for a club that turns over between £6 and £7 million. That's a third of our income. The lack of fans goes far further than just tickets and pies, says Bottomley. With no crowds at all, particularly with hospitality, you're looking at a vast part of our income being wiped out because everything relies on us playing football in front of crowds. All the sponsorship, all the advertising boards around the pitch. It's almost academic that our gate receipts are only 15% of turnover, in terms of purely people coming through turnstiles. Even with restricted numbers it was going to be bad, but it's horrific without any numbers at all. On Saturday, we made about £15,000 from iFollow, the Football League's streaming service, but we would have normally taken over £100,000 for a game against Portsmouth.